Well, okay. Hello, friends and family. Got this thing working. Still learning how to use the software. Anyway, so from the beginning, this is another one of my vlogs on paranormal. No, it's not an investigation. Just going over something that I've seen, and just wanted to voice my opinion. So, the question is, and what I've been seeing in this, the whole subject of this vlog is, the question is, can you use a cell phone to go on a ghost hunting expedition and do some investigating with it? So, what brought this up is on TV. If anybody's watching any of these TV shows, I'm talking about Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventurers, Ghost Nation, Ghost Brothers. Any of those you've been seeing in the last few months that they're starting to use. You're starting to see cell phones. Now, then in the past, and as a old-time paranormal investigator, and on social media, this is going nuts, and there's a lot of heated arguments going on. But the main thing about it is, I have done another vlog, if you want to go check out my YouTube channel, on some suggestions on equipment to take with you to do a paranormal investigation, and going over basic costs, which goes from zero to you can spend thousands of dollars on some of the fancy equipment that you see these guys with. But lately, like I said, within the last few months, you're starting to see more and more of these guys using cell phones. And I've gone over some of the basic stuff in some other vlogs, but this time here, all I'm going to do is just put out the information and what I've observed, and the final decision really should be you yourself. Please take what I put out, listen to it, and then you go and do anything, do it if you want to or not. It's up to you. I just want to put out the information and put out my ideas and give all these ghost shows a hard time. First and foremost, all of these guys, these Ghost Hunters and Ghost Nation and Ghost Brothers, hey guys, get yourself a technical consultant. And if you don't know what the heck you're using, or you can't explain the equipment, let him go on the TV to explain it, or let him tell you how to explain it. Because what has happened was, this particularly happened with the Ghost Brothers. I find it funny because I was the one picking on him and harassing him about it. He used a piece of equipment, and some people pointed it out on him and called him out on it, and yes, I was one of them. And that wasn't too bad at first, and that went on for a couple of days. It got kind of warm conversations. But then what he did, he turned around a couple of days later and went back on social media and tried to explain himself. This is why I use this, and I'll get into later what exactly piece of equipment that really started this explosion on social media. So he tried to explain it to his followers on social media, and mostly simply just proved that he didn't know what he was talking about. So that really exploded things for about 4 days, jumping all over him, and all these guys on social media trying to explain to him what he did and what he got wrong, his mistakes. So it was rather humorous. Anyway, so again, the idea of this vlog is simple. The question: can you use a cell phone to do a paranormal investigation or to go ghost hunting? So this is going to be in 2 stages. I'm going to go over to yes, and then I'm going to go over to no. And then you take that information and deal with it and go from there. So without further ado, let's go over the thing and start with section 1. So again, the question: can you use a cell phone and go on paranormal investigation? Well, to answer that one, again, I'm going to have to go on another rant. What are we trying to do? Okay, where paranormal investigators are trying to locate and document the paranormal, however you want to put it. Demons, ghosts, poltergeists, spirits, whatever you want to call them. Personally, myself, I'm going to lump them all in one thing, and I'm going to call them all entities. Okay, so that's what we're doing. This is paranormal investigators are hundreds of years old. Trying to learn more about the spirit world and the paranormal world has been going on for hundreds of years. This is nothing new. It's just that it's getting much more sophisticated. So I guess from then on, there would be the question is, what the heck are we doing? Well, this is a mixture of religion and technology and science. So the first thing is, what are we trying to do? Well, so far science and religion has taken the human body, us, and split us into two parts. We have the material body, and then we have what they call a spirit or a soul. Okay. When we pass, that's when we leave our physical body, and then our soul or spirit. Now, what a paranormal investigator does, what the scientist is trying to do, is find a way to locate, track, detect, and talk to these entities. So from our standpoint, according to religion, the human body, all of us, when we pass away, our energy, or spirit, or soul, goes in one of three places. It can go up towards the light, however word you want to use it depending on your religion, or you can go south towards the dark, and same thing, or you can stay on Earth in this dimension and roam this planet forever. That's the idea. Now then, what science has been able to prove without a doubt, when we're living, when we're alive, we do emit electric energy, electromagnetic energy, and thermal energy. Now then, to my knowledge of doing my research, nobody's really tried to find out if and what happens to this energy when we pass. It's kind of a thing they really haven't wanted to get into, or our society might not even be ready for that answer yet. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to find out about. That's what we're trying to track. That's why you're seeing all these fancy cameras and all the fancy equipment. So now that I explained what the spirits are, or entities, let's go back into the main subject, and I'm trying to stay on subject and not go on these rants. If I go over something and you request for me to go through another explanation or go through another vlog just on that one subject, please give me email or give me a message down here or something like that. Let me put my email down here for you guys. There, flmonster22@gmail.com. So, again, let's get into the positive, right into it. So, again, the question: can you use a cell phone to do ghost hunting? Yes. Now then, using your cell phone. Again, yes. So here's mine. I have. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this up here. This is Razor 2. This is the cell phone that I got. So getting into the yes. So what do you use for paranormal investigations? Well, first and foremost, we do a lot of EVPs. So that means you need an audio recorder. Looking at your phone, someplace in the front of these phones, somewhere, down here, is a microphone to record with. You've got the hardware. Also, get into all of these. Focus. Focus. There's an app for that, for audio recorder. There's a lot of apps for audio recording. So, on that one, yep, you can do an audio recording and do your EVPs. Next subject, pictures. Can you take pictures? Because again, you want to record this stuff and document it and show your friends if something really ends up happening, which is really cool. So we also take a lot of pictures. Well, let's go back to the old phone again. You see, can I do that? Yes, I have a camera. I have a lens, and there's a CCMOS thing in here, so I can take pictures with. And yes, there is an app for that. So you can take pictures. Alright, next subject, which gets a little bit on the complicated side. So we have video. For future reference, I'm going to take audio, pictures, and video and clump them into one word and call them all multimedia files. Because it gets really tongue-tied quick. So, video. There's 3 types of video. Number 1, regular, standard, and maybe low light video. Well, like I said, I already showed you the camera, the lenses, and there's an app for that. So yes, you can use it, and they're doing better and better all the time, trying to refine these cameras. And for normal stuff that we do, it's okay, but for the high speed or the sensitive or for the high quality, cameras just don't work. And I'll get into that for a little while now. But yes, you can, of course. The next type of video that we used in ghost hunting and paranormal investigations, something called infrared or ultraviolet. Right, that is a type of light energy that we, through our own eyes, cannot see. So we have to have cameras to take a look at it and convert it to video that we can actually look at and watch. So, infrared camera, or sometimes called full spectrum camera. Well, you've got a sensor, you've got a flash. Yes, there's an app for that. You can find these apps. You can look them up anytime you want to. It's easy. Either on Apple Store, and you can find them on Google Play Store. And you'll see an app for infrared camera. Okay. So that's number 2. Number 3, thermal imaging camera, which is different. It just does heat sources. So, thermal imaging, yep, there's an app for that. It sure is. You can also, you'll see if you look at some of these shows now and watch closely, you'll see some of these guys will have this little plug-in. There's a plug-in that you can buy on Amazon. It's inexpensive. I don't like using the word cheap because they're doing the best they can, but still trying to keep them affordable. It's rather new technology. But it's if you have to have a powerful enough camera that can handle it. But there's an adapter you can buy. They're going for somewhere around $200. And for $200, you can get this little plug-in add-on. It plugs into the bottom of the phone, and now you have a thermal imaging camera. Okay, now we go into some of the other things, the other equipment that we have. I'm sure you guys, if you've watched any of these TV shows, you've seen us use spirit boxes. This is the one that Ghost Brothers got in trouble with. Darren whips, the lead investigator, Darren, whips out his cell phone, says, here's my spirit box. And he starts using his cell phone for spirit box. And yep, on both Apple and Android, there is an app for that. Right, another piece of equipment we like to use a lot, we have the K2 meter. And yes, there's an app for K2 meter. We have something called a REM pod. You want to use a REM pod? Yep, there's an app for that. Then it starts getting a little bit funny and getting a little bit silly. They have this thing, and I've seen it a couple times on this paranormal camera files or whatever, in which they talk about the ghost radar. Yep, there's an app for that. So you can download that, any of these apps, and try them out yourself. See what happens. Well, there's nothing wrong with trying. So yeah, there's an app for that too. Alright. So, gone over all the pluses. So all in all, yeah, you can use a cell phone. You can grab your cell phone and go into, you know, a cemetery, go with your friends, take some pictures. Just if you find some stuff and take some pictures of it later on and you catch it, hey, good for you. If you just very well might end up scaring the daylights out of yourselves. So that part of it is, yes, inexpensive because you've already got your cell phone, so yes, you can use a cell phone. Right. Now let's go to the other side. This is the other side. This is the one, again, I do my investigations based on science and based on, I have my education and stuff in electronics and computer sciences. So that's how I try to debunk everything. And then whatever I can't debunk, then that goes into the drawer of paranormal. So, now then, again, section 2. Can you use a cell phone doing a ghost hunting or paranormal investigation? My answer, no. So now let's get into the no's. Alright, we'll start from the beginning like I did in section 1. This, family and friends, is a cell phone. It's not a camera. It's not a video camera. It's a cell phone. It's designed to make calls and receive phone calls. Alright? Its primary job and its main objective, above and beyond everything, is to receive phone calls and make phone calls. And if you like, for example, anybody can tell, if you're doing something on your phone, let's say you're doing an EVP, let's say you're doing a video or whatever, and suddenly you get a phone call from somebody, that phone will stop whatever you're doing and give you the opportunity to answer that call. Well, there it takes care of your EVP or your video that you were going over or whatever. It takes care of all your reliability, your credibility and everything. Because it will stop everything it's doing and want to know what you want to do to that telephone call. Do you want to take it? Do you want to decline it? And same thing with text messages. You're sitting there minding your own business and you're doing the VV and all of a sudden you hear this ding ding because you just got a text message from somebody. Alright, you just corrupted whatever you were trying to do. And your credibility. The second part on as far as trying to record audio with a cell phone, the microphone itself is inexpensive. The microphone itself is for one thing and one thing only, to pick up and transmit the human voice. Not sound, the human voice. And at close range. Everybody, I'm sure at one time or another, you'll be sitting there talking to somebody, a friend of yours or whatever, and all of a sudden it starts getting garbled or you can't understand what he's saying because he's taking the cell phone and he's talking on the cell phone and he's talking to it like this and slowly it gets away, and it's like, no, I can't understand you anymore. Cell phone microphones are designed only for a couple inches, not across the room. The other thing about it is, on the microphone on the cell phone is, as I said before, it's for the human voice. So, science and audio has specified that the audio voice, the normal talking human voice, is from 700 hertz to 7,000 hertz. Okay. Now then, that's the normal, calm, human talking voice, which is what these things are designed to pick up, so you can hear each other. All right. A human being and good hearing can hear 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And a lot of these things, these EVPs and stuff that we pick up, are outside of the normal human hearing. That's why while you're doing the EVP, you don't hear anything with some good equipment, and later on when you play it back, all of a sudden, bingo, there's an EVP, and you're like, wait a minute, where did this come from? That's because a real audio recorder will pick up things that a cell phone can't, just because of the mic. Alright, so that takes care of audio. Okay, let's go to video. Alright. Can you use a cell phone for regular video? That's a yes or no. The problem you got with anything on a cell phone's a multitasker, an expert of none. Your cell phone's doing a lot of stuff. And if you're taking a picture and suddenly you think you see something in the background, or you might see a spirit or a shadow or whatever, you have to, the thing to understand is that these cell phones are doing a lot of stuff in the background. And all the programs you got running in the background, Facebook, Twitter, weather program, Instagram, all these things are running in the background. And they've got these things called notifications. Well, they generate noise. So your cell phone's trying to do the video, or take the picture. No, do the video. We already went over pictures. It's trying to do a video, and we're on pictures. And at the same time, you're trying to take a picture. So that's when they have this thing called crosstalk noise. So yeah, look at it and everything. Is it 100% reliable? Did you really? The main thing is, if you think you saw it, and you go back and you take a look at your camera, and it's showing you the same thing you saw, right? Then that goes into the door of paranormal. Because if you come to me and says, hey Bill, you know, we were doing this and I thought, and then look what my camera showed up. Well, first of all, you're telling me that you already saw that, and second of all, you got a picture of it. So then it's a little bit harder to try to debunk, as Zach likes to say all the time. So, because of the noise and stuff is not really reliable and credible. But again, that's what you call the world of paranormal. Okay, regular cameras, the low light and stuff. Okay, they're good, but then again, you still got that problem of the crosstalk and the noise and everything on taking the video. And if you're in the middle of a good video and you think you think you're tracking a dark spirit or something like that, and all of a sudden you get a phone call from your boyfriend. Oh, damn it! That takes care of that. Alright, so now we're going to get into the other ones. Alright, now then, the three different types of video. We went over the first one, which is regular, standard, light, and sometimes low light video. The next thing to talk about is, on the video subject, is the ultraviolet or infrared, or as they've generalized and put them all together, called it full spectrum camera. I have a full spectrum camera. Okay. Full spectrum camera. No, this is not a full spectrum camera. This is a regular, standard, normal light camera. A full spectrum camera has a special lens on it, and it's also got a special CMOS sensor. The hardware to do full spectrum video recording, your camera, your cell phone does not have it. They're kind of expensive. And you can't switch from one to the other. I have separate cameras. I have a regular camera. I have a full spectrum camera. You can't do them all. You can't do them all in one thing. It's just, you don't have the CMOS sensor, and you don't have the filters on the lenses to pick it up. The app that people are seeing for these infrared cameras, it's a computer program. It does whatever the programmer tells it to do. So what you got is you got a computer programmer somewhere to come up with a good idea and figure out how to randomly change the colors that you see on your camera versus what's being recorded, and changing it around randomly to make it look like it's an infrared camera. But it's really, no. You don't have the sensor and you don't have the lens on a regular cell phone to do it. It just doesn't work. So, the next one. Okay. Thermal imaging camera. No. Same thing again. Thermal imaging camera. People go ahead, again, go on Amazon or go to some of these ghost hunting equipment people and see what this stuff really looks like and what they do and how much they cost. I don't have a thermal imaging camera. I've never bought one because I can't verify the cost. Those things are kind of expensive. They have a very, very special CMOS sensor. They have a very, very special lenses and stuff. And the device itself and the firmware in the camera is also specifically for infrared sensing. A camera, a regular standard cell phone camera, cannot do that. First of all, you don't have a sensor, you don't have the lenses, and yeah, there's an app for that, but it's the same thing. You have a rather sneaky, smart programmer that's taking the signal coming from your camera, doing some stuff with it, throwing it up on your cell phone screen, and making it look like thermal imaging when it's not. Standard camera cannot do thermal imaging. Cell phone camera cannot do thermal imaging. So, next. Let's go to the funny one. Can you do spirit box? No. Again, this is where Ghost Brothers really got into a lot of trouble for about 2 weeks. It was somewhat sad and somewhat hilarious. Alright, spirit box and the way a spirit box does and what it does, it has an AM and an AM FM receiver. And it scans up and down those frequencies in the hopes that a spirit can manipulate the device and you'll hear words coming from it. Alright, cell phones do not have AM FM receivers in them. It's a program. And they're thinking that whoever puts that thing on them, it's a joke. It's just a computer program. You don't have the hardware built into it. They don't even use radio receivers in cell phones anymore. That's why you got your Apple Music, you've got your Spotify, your Pandora. That's what we use in this generation nowadays uses to listen to its music, not on the radio. So the radio receivers, they used to be years ago, you had a radio receiver built into your cell phone and the headphones was used for the antenna. Well, like I said, times change, generations change. Now they've got the Spotify and the Pandora and the iTunes and stuff, so people don't even use that anymore. They just listen online. So, a spirit box? No. It's a program. Next thing we go to K2 meter. No. You cannot use a cell phone as a K2 meter. A K2 meter, the job of a K2 meter is it has a specially designed antenna and special circuits inside it to pick up electrostatic and electromagnetic energy. And then it alerts accordingly with either a meter or a series of LEDs or audio. Our cell phones do not have that special antenna, and they don't have the chips, the hardware to sense electromagnetic and electrostatic energy. It's just not there. So no, you can't use it for K2. Same thing with the REM pod. If people know that, what a REM pod does, if you see the difference between a K2 meter and a REM pod, but a REM pod has another antenna. Okay, what a REM pod does differently is it generates an electrostatic and electromagnetic field around that antenna. And when any other kind of energy comes in contact with that antenna, it changes the field on that antenna, and it picks it up and it tells you that there's something there. Okay, number one, the cell phone doesn't have that antenna. Number two, it doesn't have the chips or the circuitry, the hardware, to pick up and deal with the electrostatic, electromagnetic generating and sensing. So it's not there. So no, you can't. All right, now then, last but not least, and I think the funniest and silliest one. Oh my goodness gracious, family and friends. Ghost radar. Really? Seriously? Ghost radar. Yes, there's an F for that. I've seen it. It is funny. And anytime you see, and I have more than once, watching these television shows, and when the guy comes up and in the TV says, and this is a world-renowned paranormal investigator, and look at him using his ghost radar. There's no such thing as a ghost radar. No, we cannot send signal back and look for a signal to be coming back as it bounces off a ghost so we can tell where they're at. That technology does not exist. It's a computer program. It's a joke. It's a farce. It's just for have some fun. Now then, can you possibly load it on yours and have some fun with it and think you got something? Yeah, it's possible. But in reality, there's no such thing as a ghost radar. It doesn't exist. A cell phone has nothing to transmit with, it has nothing to pick up with, and to do radar for a ghost, you would have to know what it's made of, so you could bounce off electric energy after that and have it ping back to you, and that doesn't exist. So that's the pluses and the minuses of using a cell phone. Take that as a grain of salt and make your own decision your own way. Now then, can you get a bunch of friends together? Let's go to the silliest part. Can you get a bunch of you together, 4 or 5 of you people, 1 or 2 of you get together, and both of you download the Ghost Radar and go through your house to go through the cemetery? Yeah. Will it show you that there's ghosts out there? Yeah, it sure will. You can have some fun. If you believe it good enough, it'll scare the daylights out of you. And the same thing with all the other ones, you know, the infrared camera, the thermal imaging camera, all that. Again, like I said, I've already got a blog on my YouTube channel, and this one here will be downloaded to my YouTube channel, whoever misses it on Facebook. And I have on that YouTube channel, I go over different equipment, general costs, and the differences between them. You know, what's the difference between a regular camera, low light, infrared, thermal imaging, and all that kind of stuff. So now then, the other thing, last but not least, this is what I like to do, and professional investigators do the same thing. Sometimes we'll take our files, multimedia files, and we'll call up someone and say, listen, I'm not too sure what the heck I got on this. You want to take a look at this? And send a file to them. So they can take a look at it and say, wow, you're right, Bill. Or, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see a thing on it. What are you talking about? Okay. The thing about it, and some of the younger generation and other paranormal investigators have been caught up in it sometime. Any digital file created by a camera or a phone nowadays, it's got something in it called metadata. Okay, I'll not get into that if you want to at a later date. And if I have enough requests, I'll get into what the heck metadata is. Anyway, what it is every multimedia file that there is. It's in it, hidden inside the file, is what date was it taken, whether it be audio or video or picture. What date was it taken? What time was it taken? What device was used to take it? So if you were using an iPhone or an Android or a camera or a Nikon or a Canon or whatever, that information is included in that multimedia file. Also on some of them, where you were located at. The GPS coordinates where you were when you took that picture. So if you say, well, look at this, I took this picture out in the woods over here in Florida, and you were really at your backyard in Kentucky, it's going to show up. Because if a good editor who knows what he's doing can get that information out and tell you exactly what was going on when you took that picture. So it's got date, time, location. Some of them also will pull in, particularly into cell phones, because remember, your personal information is on that phone. So yes, I will know that William Ellis' phone, Razor 2, took this picture. It'll be right there on the file. So some people have been caught doing that before in the past, so be careful. So I guess this ends it. I went over it. I just had to get into this because it's getting deep into the TV shows, and I think it's a lot of downright lying and false advertising. These guys should know what they're doing by now. And if you sit there and you go out, again, you go out there and have your fun, enjoy yourself. But if you're going to be credible and something you find out about or you catch and it's real and we want to prove it's real and come to find out it came from a phone, there goes your credibility. But they're still a lot of fun, honestly are. Those of you who watch these TV shows, watch closely and you'll see that they're still doing everything that we do with our fancy equipment, but they're doing the same thing with a cell phone. It's working. They're getting some harassment on social media, but not a lot. But I will say one thing. The last show, their season finale for Ghost Brothers, if you watch the show closely, if you watch the first few shows of the last season and then watch the very last show, you'll see they were using cell phones. That last show, you didn't see a cell phone. Like I said, they got heat for like 2 weeks. So that ends my ranting and stuff on whether you can use a cell phone to do a paranormal investigation or not. So, any critiques or ideas or suggestions for future vlogs, or any clarification on any of the information I put on this one, there's my email, and you can message me on Facebook. So I shall end it, and night and pleasant dreams, family and friends.